Well, happy Sunday morning. Here we are at Anderson Creek County Park in Lillington. It's Sunday the 14th of July, and it's about 10:30 in the morning. Just finished a 3-mile run, calling it a recovery run. Ran up running a little bit harder than I intended to when I came out here, but I felt pretty good, so yeah, what the heck. I wanted to say a few more words about yesterday's workout. I am borrowing terminology from Greg McMillan. I love the idea of stamina repeats or stamina intervals. What is stamina? It's the ability to maintain an uncomfortable pace for increasingly longer periods of time. And to me, a stamina repeat early on in training, it's all about getting the muscles and the connective tissue up to the level of the cardiorespiratory system, so that later on you can handle more intense workouts, and eventually that'll lead to better race times. When you're getting into shape, the first thing that gets into good shape first is your cardiorespiratory system, followed by your muscular system, followed by the connective tissue, tendons and ligaments, followed by your skeletal system. And so that's why when you think about the progression of injuries that can occur, the first thing that could happen is you're starting to run within the limitation of your cardiorespiratory system, but you're exceeding the capacity of your muscular system. And so when that's the case, you're prone to muscle strains and muscle tears. Let's say you get further on in your training and your cardiorespiratory system is squared away, your muscles are in shape, and now the thing that's going to probably do you in is going to be some tendonitis. And if that doesn't do you in, you might have issues with ligaments and bursitis, stuff like that. And so the idea of building a base when you're training, you've got two major benefits that you're seeking to achieve. One is you're giving time for your soft tissue to catch up with your heart. And then the other thing is that when you're running low intensity workouts of fairly long duration, I'm talking about time, not distance here, because it's time on feet that matters in the early days. You're in a good fat burning zone, and the base work that you're laying, you're starting to increase bone density. And I didn't talk about an injury that you can get with your bones. A lot of people new to running, they think they're doing everything right, and lo and behold, they start having problems with stress fractures. And that's why. It's because the work that they're doing exceeds the capacity of the skeletal system to handle it. One of the things that I've observed in all the times I've gotten back into shape after a long layoff is the first couple weeks of training, it's a lot easier for me to hit my max heart rate during a run, especially on the hills. And the reason for that is relative to my muscles, the conditioning of my heart isn't that great. And so it takes less stress to get my heart rate up. And so the first 2 weeks of training this cycle, I started running 4 weeks ago, after not running a step since January. I got up to the high 190s. I got a 204 in there, I got a 211 in there. And I probably won't be capable of achieving max heart rate for probably 2 or 3 more months until I can move my body fast enough to challenge my heart that way. It's not a complaint, it's just an observation. It is a beautiful morning. It's I think 87 or 88 degrees. As you can tell, the trails here are well shaded, a little bit of dappled sunshine getting through, but it's probably 10 degrees cooler here on the trail than it is out in the parking lot, maybe 15 degrees. The air is fairly dry, and so for the first time in 2 weeks, the sweat is actually achieving a bit of a cooling effect. It's very refreshing. It's great to be out here. So for the week that was, and my training week runs from Sunday to Saturday, I put in 28.5 miles. Again, my first step was 4 Sundays ago. So to go from 0 to 28.5 miles in 4 weeks, it certainly isn't a rate of increase that I recommend for people that are new to running. People that are new to running, yeah, I'm a bigger fan of increasing your mileage, 3 miles a week every couple of weeks. So you might start off with a 9, then a 12, then a 15, then an 18, and 21, 24, and then start adding, 4 miles per week once you get to that point. And I'm not saying that you're doing the increases every single week. I'm saying that when you increase from 1 week and you're ready to increase to the next, that's the rate of increase that has worked for me. The reason why I can get away with such a steep progression in my mileage is because I've been doing this a lot. I know what my body can take. I know the difference between an acute injury that needs to be taken care of versus a chronic injury versus what I call break-in. I'm going to say injury, but break-in aches and pains. It's kind of like rolling a stone up the hill. You have to have enough days that suck to get to the days where it's an absolute joy to be out on the trails, and that you actually feel good when you run. The first 4 weeks for me are not fun at all. Other than the psychological sense of well-being of finally getting off my butt and doing something, yeah, I do not move well. And I can tell that I'm finally starting to get through the break-in period when through the course of a day, if I've run in the morning, I can actually feel the bounce return to my legs through the course of the day. And yeah, I feel good enough in the evening that I would actually consider running after supper. When I'm finally achieving that on a regular basis, I know that I'm ready to step up the intensity because my body's ready for it. I'm actually achieving a decent level of recovery after my workouts. So that's it for today. Hope you have a good rest of the weekend. We'll talk to you next time.